Okay, joined by Eamon O'Reilly, the Ballyboden St Endas manager here. Eamon, have you managed to catch your breath after that? I got your head around what happened there the last 5 minutes of the game, and you're into the Senior 1 final in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, Derek, listen, I suppose the first thing I would say is Cuala have been outstanding champions, not just Dublin, Leinster and All Ireland. You know, they play a seriously good brand of football. Even when the rules weren't there last year, they still played that brand of football, which, you know, is certainly something to admire. First of all, commiserations to them, but, you know, I suppose we move on now ourselves. That game was helter skelter right to the end. So seeing what our boys showed character-wise in that second half, you know, it really is pleasing, but not unexpected given the character of the men that are in our dressing room.
I think 7 points down in the 56th minute, I think is what it was. It seemed like it was game over. What happened in that last 5 or 10 minutes, and how proud are you of the guys for not giving in? Because 7 points down against the All-Ireland champions, a lot of teams will give in.
Yeah, again, it comes back to that character piece. You know, we brought, you know, some lads in off the bench, even Callum O'Dwyer, 18 years of age, comes off the bench, you know, and kicks an absolute worldie of a 2-pointer there. So, you know, other lads like Cian, James, the two Jameses, you know, Alex Gavin, Pa Warren, these lads, they drove us on. They drove us on towards the end of the game, brought that ball forward, carried hard, got the ball to the likes of Dara and Collie. You know, Collie again, exceptional, you know, hadn't trained a lot in the last 2 weeks, but comes up with a serious performance there again. So it was basically a team effort, I would say, and a lot of guys stood up today and basically stood up when they were needed and counted.
Up until the 56th minute, I mean, you had the wind in that first half. You must have been disappointed maybe going in at half time behind, considering you had that, because it's a strong enough wind out here today. And up to that, I know Collie got that goal in the second half to bring you back in, and then Cuala got a goal straight after that to push them again. I think that moved them 6 points clear again. Things didn't really feel like they were going your way. There's a couple of drop shots and a couple of fumble balls, that sort of thing. So up until then, how did you feel you were playing, and then what changed in that last 5 or 10 minutes, I guess, to see over the line?
So if you actually look at the shot count in the first half, they were extremely accurate, whereas we were probably maybe going for a few more 2-pointers, and that was where the drop shorts and maybe the wides were coming from. You know, maybe panicking a little bit in terms of our shot selection and whatever else, or just pure shot execution. Whereas, you know, the second half, I think we knew we had to go for it, and to be fair, I would back our guys all day long when it comes down to a battle to go to the end, and that's exactly what happens. And we know now in this new game of football that we have in 2025 that you have to go to the end. And in fairness, we had a league game against Ballyboden earlier on in the summer, and I think we're 9 or 10 down at half time, and the boys showed the same kind of character again. So that's the kind of trait that you would definitely be pleased about, and we know we have a mountain of work to do because we were not good for 55 minutes of that game, and we know that.
You came racing out of the blocks in this championship earlier on in the year, big wins obviously early on in the championship. The last couple of games against Castleknock and again here today have been battles, so there's been a different sort of aspect to the team. You must be delighted with what the team have shown this year. Okay, very good, things are going your way as they were earlier on in the championship, you know, able to play that way and able to rack up big wins. But then when it comes to a battle like it was against Castleknock the last day, and again here today, the guys were able to see things out as well.
100%. I think, you know, you try and learn from every single game that you have in the championship, and again, you know, ourselves, and in fairness to Nafina as well. You know, Nafina, I think of what of the two or three 1-point wins in a row, the Ballantyre game, the Ballymun game, and again today. So, you know, that's a sign of good character in the team, and likewise our lads come up against a different type of defence against Castleknock. That definitely helped us in terms of our preparation for this game. And again today, like, you know, that hopefully will breathe a bit of fire into our lads in terms of what they have and how good they are and how good we see them every week in training. But that means absolutely nothing. It means absolutely nothing when that whistle blows. You have to give it on the day, and you have to bring it on the day, and we are going to need to bring an unbelievable performance if we're going to get anything out of that Nafina game in Saturday week.
Yeah, finally it is Nafina in the Go Ahead Ireland Senior 1 football final in 2 weeks' time, Saturday week, the 18th of October. As you mentioned, you know each other very well. The two teams know each other very well, played each other in the league, played each other in the championship obviously earlier on this year. I'm sure you were watching them earlier on today against Chemical Crokes as well. What can you expect from Nafina in 2 weeks' time?
Listen, Nafina are a class side, and I wouldn't look into that game against us at all, because it was just one of those nights for them, and we've had those nights, and you could argue we had a bit of that today in terms of our performance. But with the rules, you can rack up a big score very quickly, and unfortunately unfortunately for us, unfortunately for them, the game got away from them. But we know that will not be the game in 2 weeks' time. It's just not going to be the same type of game. It's going to be a much more competitive game, and they are going to be gunning for us, and they believe 100% that they owe us one, and rightly so, they owe us one. And we'll obviously need to be on our absolute 100% performance to get anything out of that match.